Audible Frontiers presents The WindupGirl, written by Paolo Bacigalupi and narrated by Jonathan Davis.
Hi, my name is Paolo Bacigalupi, and I'm the author of The WindupGirl. The roots of this story really come from a trip I took to Southeast Asia in 2003. I traveled through Hong Kong, southern China, Laos, and Thailand, and I was specifically going to gather material. I like to travel because I think that being in foreign places, running into unexpected things, helps me pay better attention to the world around me, and it also helps me pay better attention to my home when I come back. In any case, it turned out that I got a lot more than I bargained for on that particular trip because at the same time as I was traveling, the SARS epidemic erupted. SARS, or Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, there's a tongue twister, started in Guangdong province, and it rapidly spread to something like 37-odd countries. But its epicenter was Asia, and it killed a lot of people very quickly. So as I was traveling, SARS started as a whisper of odd events happening in Guangzhou, little newspaper reports that maybe people were getting sick, or maybe there was some sort of a flu thing happening, something. And then it suddenly exploded into this pandemic, and it was killing people in Hong Kong. People are dying like flies. People are dying in Vietnam. People are dying in Beijing, in Shanghai, in Bangkok. People are wearing masks everywhere you go. And every time you heard someone cough, you were absolutely certain that that person was a carrier and that they were going to give you SARS and that you were going to die a sweltering, miserable death, coughing up the meat of your lungs in the very near future. I ended up in Bangkok trying to arrange a flight out of the country while more and more of these death reports rolled in. I was staying in an extremely cheap flop house. It was made of concrete. It was something like 6 stories high, and my room had no air conditioning, and it faced west, which meant that the full blaze of the equatorial sun would just hammer my room all afternoon, and it would turn the room into this sweltering oven at night. So I sweated, and I sweated, and I sweated, and I sweated, and when I was done sweating, I sweated some more, and pretty soon it felt like I was nothing but bones and sort of desiccated skin. And the weird thing was that at that point my skin started to develop all these weird pustules. So people are dying like flies, my skin is bubbling, I can't sleep at all because of this relentless heat. Half the people I'm talking to are wearing masks, and the world felt mad, completely crazy. And for a while, I started feeling like I was losing my mind as well. There's something extremely compelling about being in a spot where all the things you take for granted are suddenly not things you can rely on anymore. That your health doesn't work, that your skin seems to be rebelling against you, that the people around you may or may not be death carriers. So when I got back to the States, those images and those experiences really stayed with me. I didn't know what I wanted to do with those, but they were so interesting that those images, those feelings, all of that hung with me. And so I found myself trying to write more and more stories that somehow touched on that experience and connected to it. It took me quite a while to figure out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to approach it, but now, 6 years later, you're listening to the results. And I really hope you enjoy The WindupGirl, and I want to thank you for listening to it.